Hey, let's go ahead and get started. I want to welcome you to our spring retreat for our resource center. Once again, we'll apologize for doing this virtually, and hopefully next time in the fall we can be live. But this is our first formal meeting of the full resource center since we had our joint retreat with CDoctor last December. So just wanted to give you some updates on the overall activities of the center for the first few months of 2022 and map out the agenda for today and tomorrow. But thanks everybody for coming. I guess the silver lining of, again, doing this virtual, we had about 80 some odd people registering, including a number of guests who are unaffiliated as of yet with the center. So that's probably a silver lining that we could capture them in a virtual event. I want to spend about 15 or 20 minutes just giving an update on the activities and progress of the center since we last convened in December. Let me start by, on behalf of our partners at Michigan, Pittsburgh, and Weiss, along with CDoctor in the overall DocTrack program, which is our center, CDoctor, and the NIDCR. I want to welcome you and thank you for coming today and tomorrow. Particularly want to welcome and thank our two keynote speakers tomorrow, Gene Dorf and Marty Dymek. I want to thank also the session speakers and moderators, Jeannie Ambrewster, Francine Berkeley, and Kay Fuller. And the moderators, I think the session we have tomorrow is really revolves around how do the ITP teams make a compelling pitch to commercial investors, and really all the legwork behind the scenes, the operations team at both Michigan and Pittsburgh. A big shout out to Patrick, Jamel, and Katie at Pittsburgh, and Kate, Aaron, and Matsumi, of course, at Michigan. They're really the brains and the wheels behind this really big operation. And really welcome all of you, whatever role you're playing as a panelist, as an advisor evaluating, member of the external advisory board, or just an attendee seeing what we're about, and also all of the ITP team. So thanks everybody for your participation in making the center run really well. Without going through every name, our external advisors have been integral. They oversee collectively our center and CDoctor, our operating committee, which is the governing and decision-making body of our resource center, and of course, all of the NIDCR program directors, particular Lillian and Tanya, who are the machinery behind helping with this program. And of course, Rena, as the head, has been very supportive, and then all of the staff as well. Briefly, after my remarks, and I'll ask Lillian Shum from the NIH to also say a few remarks and make some introductions. We'll jump into the ITP presentations. These are updates from the ITP teams showing the progress since we last convened in December. Nominally, there's 15 minutes. There'll be about 9 minutes of presentation, 5 Q&A, and 1 to transition, so we can keep on time. And at about 3:15, the open session, we'll finish, and we'll have a closed door session with the operating committee, the NIH, and the external advisors evaluating the progress of the teams. In parallel with the closed door session, we are launching listening sessions as part of an effort to come up with a sustainability plan, a long-term sustainability plan. And the first listening session is really the low-hanging fruit of convening with the ITP groups. which we know best and they know the Resource Center best. And those sessions will be moderated by Francine and Patrick Cantini. And we split that up into 2 sessions, with the academic ITP teams and the small business ITP teams. And this is really a listening session to try to get feedback on what you value most and what we could do better as a resource center. So the open session will finish about 3:15, the closed session probably around 5:30 Eastern time. Then tomorrow, Jean and Marty will give keynote talks painting the afternoon under the umbrella of fundraising and creating a pitch deck. And then we'll have a session with several keynote speakers on focusing on considerations in preclinical product development. Again, building a compelling pitch. This will be bracketed into 3 sessions. One more focused on regulatory issues, the second more focused on market issues, and the third more focused on user handling. And these are, we think, are 3 important elements that are key to creating a pitch and trying to commercialize a technology. We'll have breakout sessions to debrief and talk more specifically about some of these strategies, and then we'll have a closed session, if necessary, to discuss the balance of the ITPs. So this is the flow for the next couple of days. Let me transition now and ask Lillian Shum, Director of Extramural Research at NIDCR and one of the key spearheads for this DocTrack program, ask her to say a few words and introduce some new key people that are on board at NIDCR. I'll stop sharing.
Thanks, Jake. Hi, everyone. It's good to see everyone virtually. Hope to see everyone in person one of these days. I look forward to 2 days of the annual stakeholder summits with this group here. As Dave spoke about, the agenda is really rich and exciting with a parade of ITPs and progress made by each for today and tomorrow, mapping the strategies for regulatory pathway, commercialization, and clinical adoption. So this is a critical juncture for the program. We are entering year 3 of a 5-year full consortium period. We have funneled dozens and dozens of ideas and pilots to the current portfolio of 12 ITPs. Some are more mature than others since they were launched at different cycles, so not surprisingly. But we are, and we should continue to populate what I call the win column with significant accomplishments. So, many groups have had interactions with the FDA, so those interactions being positive and getting feedback from the FDA is really a good thing. Many new patents, new companies, and several projects have attracted additional federal support and private investments. Those are great. And also being a nucleating entity on the outreach front. So you're providing resources for the community at large, nurturing new and junior investigators, and synergizing with other activities both locally and nationally. So I look forward to seeing these products and technologies clear the FDA for first-in-human use. I want to thank the leadership of the resource centers and the entire team to take on this really large and visible program. You all have been a great partner for NIDCR. And last and certainly not least, I want to thank Nadia Lemelsky, who is not here today. She has since retired and is serving as special volunteer for NIDCR, so you can still get a hold of her. She has really left an indelible mark on this program as program official and project scientist. She was there leading the NIDCR portfolio analysis of our tissue regeneration investments some 8 years ago, conceptualized the program, developed the RFAs, and shepherded the establishment and the development of the consortium in the past 6 years. So this had been one of her signature projects. But I do have a new partner now, Dr. Tanya Hood-Boy, who is with us today, and I'd like to ask Tanya to introduce herself to everyone. And thanks, and look forward to the rest of today's summit and tomorrow's.
Well, hi,
Tanya?
everyone. I'm Tanya Hood-Boy. I'm the new director for the Tissue Engineering and Regenerative Medicine program at NIDCR and project scientist for the DocTRC. So I came from NIGMS about 6 weeks ago. And at NIGMS, I managed all the developmental biology grants for about a decade, as well as a number of postdoctoral fellowships. And before my time at NIGMS, I managed a number of trans-NIH Common Fund programs for the NIH Office of the Director in a number of different areas, including regenerative medicine. So I'm happy to meet you all and learn about your exciting science and progress over the next 2 days. Thank you.
Hey, welcome, Tanya. Thank you, Lillian, and a big thank you to Nadia for all of her years of effort on the DocTrack program and the overall regenerative medicine program at NIDCR. So let me continue for a few more minutes with my comments. So you've seen this slide many times before, but we are moving more and more to the right as the program matures. We've advanced from our planning stage to the stage 2 development stage, and we're now at the beginning of year 3 on the consortium stage, in which us and CDoctor and NIH really operate as partners to advance the ITP teams through the translational funnel into first-in-human studies. So a little bit more about funnel. In stage 2, we gave high-level assessments to projects. We've probably had close to 100 projects submit pre-proposals to the program. We gave a high-level assessment based on clinical need and commercial viability. Those that advanced, we evaluated on more of a milestone basis. And as they advanced through stage 2 and into stage 3, then this integrated machinery that was developed, in which we not only worked on scientific preclinical milestones and most appropriate preclinical studies that the FDA would want to see, but integrated that with overall marketing and commercialization strategy development, manufacturing, clinical trial preparation, and projects could exit either to the right in this funnel, in which they would exit to a first-in-human study and ultimate clinical adoption, or they could exit vertically and be picked up at any point in the funnel by a corporate partner. And when I show you some of the accomplishments, there were ITP teams that have on this route. The end goal is not just clinical trial, but all the way to the right of the funnel, ultimate clinical adoption. And that's really where the integration with marketing and commercialization kicks in how to think about projects in a translational manner, not just from bench to bedside, but really from bench to the private sector, so that clinical adoption can become relevant. Without straining your eyes, I want to point out that we published a white paper in JDR last year, and a big part of the white paper were these translational questionnaires that are largely developed by Kay Fuller, part of our regulatory expertise. And there's separate questionnaires for medical device track and a drug track. And these are the questionnaires that I believe are in the appendix of this paper. And these are the questionnaires that we use, or the advisory teams use, when they sit down with the ITPs and try to create the translational roadmap that will get them through the FDA. As Lillian mentioned, we have taken a portfolio of academic projects and startup projects from startup companies, and almost all of them have their IP in place. All of them have worked with our market assessment cores. All of them have had some form of corporate engagement, and a little more than 3/4 have had some type of filing with the FDA. So I think these are really the distinguishing features between a typical academic project and the projects that come through the Resource Center. We're fairly agnostic in terms of tissues, as you'll see from the presentations today. We are mostly, but certainly not exclusively, in the device bucket. We are about 1/4 internal projects, 1/4 external academic projects, and 1/2 external small startup company projects. And we could do better. We're about 25–30% female led projects. A lot of information here, and this is just what has happened since we last convened in December. I'll mention a few of the things highlighted in red to show off some of the accomplishments. Greenmark, one of the ITPs that we funded, secured some follow-on investment and equity financing for some of their work. Osteo was awarded an SBIR grant. 2 of the academic ITP teams received a funding gift from one of our corporate partners. Technology, led by Steve Little and Charles Spear out of Pittsburgh, has formed Araxis Therapeutics, and that ITP project is now more led by the startup arm. We had a joint presentation at the ADR meeting last month with CDoctor. Thank you to Bridget Samuels from CDoctor for offering that presentation. Today is our summit highlighted in blue, and going forward this summer and this fall, we hope in the summer to have the next installment of our networking series. And mark your calendars for October 31st to November 2nd, our annual joint retreat with CDoctor. We hope that is live. We are planning, although it's not definitive, to have that in Ann Arbor. And we're also in conversations with AADR to piggyback that on an annual fall symposium that will focus on translating technology. So pencil in on your calendar those days for the annual retreat. So those are a few of the updates and things coming in the next couple of months. Elaborating a little bit more on impact, we've had a total of 8 follow-on grants from the collective group of ITPs, and that sum total of that is about $15 million in follow-on funding. And there's been almost 35 different collaborations, discussions with various corporate partners or potential corporate partners. So we are having an impact in helping ITP teams navigate the commercial and follow-on funding landscape. Also, as Lillian mentioned, a part of our mission is to do more than just nurture ITP teams, but cultivate a next generation through education and training. So all of our various workshops, practicums from the different retreats are all publicly accessible on our website. We're working with partner institutions leveraging opportunities such as with our biosciences program at Michigan. We're providing a commercialization training, not just for the ITP teams, but a broader umbrella of regenerative medicine education, CE courses, a lot of synergistic activities with the T32s that exist on the various campuses from us at Michigan and our partner institutions. And the translational development questionnaire that I showed a few slides ago is public domain and another big part of our educational enterprise. So the overall stage-gated process that we had written into our original proposals is coming to fruition, not just in how we practice it with the ITP teams, but also as an educational element for how to take academic technologies and facilitate translation. So all of this is to be broader, but also build the translational pipeline. We have a couple of new projects that you'll hear from today that we seeded after our meeting last fall, and we'll hear updates from them. And we hope to have other RFAs to continue the pipeline. We are doing a lot of strategic planning, helping ITP teams make connections, working on potential sponsorships. And each summit, we've had a different aspect of strategic planning, networking, commercialization angles. And we're also, as I mentioned, starting a stakeholder analysis in which we speak to each different faction of stakeholders and have a listening session. Today, the ITP teams, sometime this summer, different companies, we'll speak to different potential funding agencies, third-party payers, each of the different stakeholders in the resource centers to identify what they value and what they think would be the most important things for us to try to continue after the NIH program sunsets. So again, I want to thank everybody for coming. This is the organization for today and tomorrow. And I'm going to jump right into the start of the ITP presentations. The Resource Center PI that is responsible for each ITP will serve as a moderator for that particular discussion. Again, the time split is 15 minutes, 9 presentation, 5 Q&A, and 1 for a seamless transition. So thanks everybody for coming.